Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I did a video just a few minutes ago about Jerry Ryan mentioning at a comic convention that she had heard about another 7 of 9, like a Captain 7 series that she didn't think worked and wasn't interested in, and it didn't feel right. But Sidetrack went into a bit more detail about that because apparently that statement from her supports a rumour that existed, which I hadn't really heard. I had an idea of it. But my understanding was they wanted to do a Legacy series. They were just waiting until they had finished production on Strange New Worlds to announce it because they just couldn't afford to have too many shows in production anymore. So they had to wait. Although, I mean, somehow Kurtzman pushed Starfleet Academy into production ahead of it. Maybe he already had things in motion before season 3 of Picard came out, and there was that movement to sort of do Legacy. Not sure how that worked. But the talk was that they were planning to do it, and they were going to announce it as coming after Strange New Worlds sometime soon. But apparently that wasn't quite the case in that it wasn't quite the Legacy series. Apparently what they did was they did, I guess, approach Jerry Ryan and say, we've got an idea for a Legacy type series with you as Captain, 7, but it's not actually going to be with Terry Matalas. It's not going to be with the same characters. It's not Legacy. It's just something similar that I guess they hoped that would do as well. And she said no to that. So the rumour was basically that they didn't want to work with Terry Matalas. Because when they didn't want to work with him, they were jealous, and they just wanted to create their own version of season 3 of Picard and Legacy, which is the reason why it worked is because Terry Matalas went away from what they were doing, and that's why it worked. And they were just going to pull it back and do their Discovery version of their canon, non-canon universe, their Prime Universe version of Legacy. So it's a mess, and that's what they sort of wanted to do, and they were just going to do this other show that was sort of ripping off, Legacy and taking that goodwill from season 3 of Picard and making their own series out of it that would have been just like Picard season 1 and 2 or Discovery or whatever. So and basically Jerry Ryan basically said, no, I'm going to wait for Legacy because Terry Matalas is working with Marvel now. He's working on the Vision series, but once he finishes that, because I'm guessing it'll only go for a season or 2, he would be free again. So it looks like they should be able to time it where he goes from Marvel back to Star Trek and does Legacy, and does a Legacy that the fans want to see, and that he does it because they don't have any faith in Kurtzman doing his version, because his version of Legacy is just going to be the same as the other Star Treks, which the reason why Legacy worked is because they got away from that, and the fans wanted that, and they didn't want Kurtzman's version, so it kind of just defeated the purpose. So yes, apparently there was a bit more involved, and what she just said does seem to support that. They did approach her with a 7 series to do instead of Legacy, and she said no, and that she's basically waiting to do the series with Terry Matalas, and everyone else is waiting to do it with Terry Matalas, and I think Skydance is waiting to do it on their own. I think they're going to wait and then approach Terry and do it their own way, and not have to worry about dealing with Kurtzman and having him sort of ruining it by basically making it just like all the other Star Trek shows that he's done that most fans don't really love and aren't really into. So I get they have their own fans, but they're not the same fans, and so I thought that was interesting because I heard one part of it and I knew another part of it, and I didn't sort of know the whole story. Now it all kind of makes sense and connects. And of course they wanted to go ahead with a Legacy type series. They didn't care that Terry had left because Kurtzman wanted to do it himself. They wanted to basically do their version of it because they either couldn't handle the fact that it worked in spite of them, or they just didn't get that it worked in spite of them, and that it was her actually saying no, and that's why it isn't happening. Not just because they were waiting for Terry, they were happy to sort of throw him aside and do their version of it. But secret hideout. But Paramount Skydance wants the actual Legacy series, and they're willing to wait for it because they know if they wait and do it themselves, it's going to go better. It's going to be a better series, and they will get to fully benefit from it and they can build upon that with other Star Trek shows which the fans might actually follow and like. So that was interesting. I thought I'd do a whole video about that. So now I've got 2 videos sort of about the same thing, but it's okay. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.